So Boni, where we left off, you decided to run for MP.
Yes.
Let's take it from there.
So we register a party and we try to register another party from 2014 and we get the party registered by 2017. So when I launched my book in November 2016, I said I was going to vie. And the reason I was going to vie, I realized maybe if I get into parliament, I can change the country from within, that I can continue the fight from parliament. So I announced I'm going to vie. Then,
so why did you decide first of all to do a book?
So that people, it's important to document your journey for people to see where you're coming from. And I thought, I want to tell my story in my own words, and that's why I wrote a book. And also wrote a book for posterity in case something happens to me and I die. At least there's a book about who I was, what I stood for, and what motivated me to do what I do.
Very powerful, bro. Very powerful. So, okay, why Starehe?
So I grew up in Juja Road, man. So Juja Road is where I was causing all these troubles. So from Juja Road, I realized, you know what? I understand Starehe. I went to Pangani Primary School before I went to approved school. I was a hawker in River Road, so I understand the hawkers issue. It was like Starehe was home to me.
Okay, let's talk about the process. So and this I'm talking because we're going to talk about Softy, but I watched Softy and I was just like,
so
Yani.
I surprised my wife by telling her I'm going to vie for the first time when I went to put a skirt in 2016. She didn't know I was going to vie. I just sprang that on her. I'm vying.
Yeah,
crazy. She was like, what? So she was shocked, like, why are you telling me now? My heart is made up that I'm going to vie.
This is how you're telling it.
So was this something that was brewing in you?
Yes, I thought, why not try to go to parliament? Why not sell your message to the people and tell them to elect you? So I decided to vie. Now, when I was vying, I was broke. I didn't have money. And I realized, William Tunga told me that in this country, every Sunday and every Friday, the guys go to the mosque and guys go to church. They give money to their prophets, to their pastors, to their imams, to their sheikhs. If you're going to vie, you can do what this country used to do back in the days. When Kenyatta left prison, he was bought for a car, KHA 001, Kenyatta Home Again. And the car he had was bought by the peasants, like people, even Mwili Mutunga was a young boy. I think he gave 1 bob or 2 bob to buy Kenyatta a car. People raised money to buy him land because he was going to serve people in the Lancaster and even in parliament and even as president. So everyone who left prison was bought for a car and land by the Kenyans.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, they were bought for cars. Everyone, Kapenguria 6.
Yeah.
Are they 6 or 7?
6.
Kapenguria 6, yeah. Everyone was bought for a car by the country. Like, those are the days where the citizens supported the candidates. Anyone who was vying was not going there to go and represent his stomach. They were going to represent the people.
Yep.
And so they were all elected to go there and work for the people. So he told me that's what we used to do. We used to send people to abroad. Kenyatta was sent to the UK. When Kenyatta was in the UK, the money for his living expenses were coming from Kenya.
No way.
Yes. They used to be sent for money by Kikuyu Central Association, KCA. Yeah. So he told me, just go and ask Kenyans for money. And that's how we did the crowdfunding. The 10 bobs and 20 bobs.
Yep.
And Kenyans only in the campaign.
I remember this. I was helping you with that digital campaign.
Yes, it's amazing that I got money. Like, I got about 15 million shillings from about 7,000 unique givers. People gave me money, 10 bob, 20 bob, 100, 50 bob, 50,000, 100,000. People just give me money for my campaign. And they said, I'm going to do a door-to-door campaign. I'm going to sell my manifesto. I'm going to go to people's homes and tell them why I'm vying.
Piga kura we starehe, tutoe ufisadi starehe, tupate maji safi starehe, na Boniface Mwangi, tetewe haki zetu, na tutakayemfikia, watoto wapate basari, kiongozi ni Mwangi, ujasiri ni Mwangi, MP wetu ni Mwangi, roho juu na Boniface Mwangi.
Now, the depressing part about vying is the level of poverty of ideas and mind that I met. I remember going to Mukuru slums. So Mukuru is just a series of shanties, and where there is no sanitation, there's basically nothing. There's no running water, no toilets, nothing. Nyumba za matope. Because there's so much poverty, people shit on paper bags. Those are the toilets. They're flying toilets, then they throw them outside at night. So if you step on something at night and sleep at umekanyanga mavi. So I go to this man's house. He's married, just like me, has 3 kids. I sit down with him and say, I'm going to work for you. I want to become a member of parliament. I'm going to represent you. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to fight to ensure that you have representation in parliament, there's oversight in parliament, but furthermore, because what you need more here is sanitation, I'm going to build public bathrooms in the community. Then we're going to use the waste as to produce hot shower, like as energy. I'm going to put libraries. Because I was telling him, dude, me, I never went to high school. I'm a class 8 dropout. But look at you, I'm in your house. I'm self-educated because I had access to books and I was able to read and understand things. So I want to be able to work for you and to serve you. Then the man looks at me.
Unanilipe ngapi?
No, he says, but at the very top, since you have this Ukweli party and you don't, not on this Raila or Uhuru side, when you get elected, who are we voting for at the very top? So this man, his biggest problem was toilets, just sanitation. But he decided to tie his vote on the on the presidential vote.
I get
I'm going to vote for whoever is going to support the person I want as president. And there's that thing about poor people not being selfish enough to vote for their best self-interest. Poor people trying to align their interests with the tribe. That won't help you. So there was a lot of that struggle where poor people saw me as poor. They perceived me as poor because my competitors had bigger cars.
Your competitors was Jaguar. In fact, Jaguar is one who won.
Jaguar and Steve Mbogo. So my voters, or Starehe voters, so Jaguar and Mbogo looked like they were richer, like they were better, like they had these things going for them, and they looked at me. Wewe unatuomba pesa na unatuomba kura. Chagua kitu moja, because you're here, instead of bribing people, I'm saying give me 10 bob to go and do another campaign poster. So like, unaomba kura na unaomba pesa. They didn't like me. During campaign, you go to a place where now, this is the other thing about the reality of campaigning in this city. You go to the slums, and like now, Mukuru has like 8 or how many, about 8 vijijis. Every vijiji has its own gang. To access that place and campaign door to door, you have to pay the gang money. And if you don't pay, they're going to rob everyone. Then when you pay them money, when you go to the next kijiji, they hand you over to the next guys. You have to pay them money to access that place. And if you fail to do that, they will rob you. And there's no police who will save you. So even access to that place was just hard. And then what else? The biggest struggle, man.
And also the people themselves. And this one I got to understand. After watching Softy, I'm like, listen, this guy is going to campaign and you're talking about change and people are asking you for money.
People asking me for money. And I think we have made our politics so transactional. People see you and they say, if you're not paying me, why should I vote for you? And some of them are saying this from a point of pain, saying that I voted for someone that I believed in and they never delivered, so I better sell my vote. So that's why they sell their votes. They say, all of you politicians are the same. You get elected, you forget about us. So let's do this. Wacha nikukule saa hii kabla uchaguliwe. Nikuchaguliwe unaenda kuiba. They're like, saa enda uibe tu. It was hard. Campaigning was hard. And my family was in the US. So I'm here campaigning alone.
Did you think there was a chance you were going to win?
I was going to win, actually. So I had a call center, and that's why you guys need to watch Softy. I had about at least 40 women in our house. And there were, 20-something women. And they made over 40,000 calls. 70,000 calls, and we had about 40,000 people saying they're going to vote for me. There was a feel that we were winning. And even till today, when I meet people, they say, I voted for you, I voted for you. I'm like, who did not vote for me? If everyone that I meet says they voted for me, and I never won, I thought I was going to win. And there's a place where you reach and you're like, I'm going to win. And then whatever happened.
How did you feel when you came? Like, how many votes did the government say? Did the IBC say you got? About
14,000 and something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many people did the winner get?
I think either 100 or almost 100,000.
Whoa, that's a lot of votes.
Yes, yeah. And he never had a manifesto. He never had a platform. He never spoke about these issues.
Was that heartbreaking?
It was. I have never cried about it. My wife cried, my campaign team cried. Me, I didn't cry. I didn't shed a tear about it. I just felt sad for this country. It was just sad. I just said, because it was a chance for show different kind of leadership and to go there.
Yeah.
And I think that window passed for me.
So running is not something that you have in mind?
I can't say yet, but...
Okay. Hey, Paul. So let me ask.
I think Paul to people of Starehe, not me. Mi niko sawa. Niko sawa.
So question.
Yes.
15 million sounds like a lot of money when you receive it.
Bro,
but
Starehe is big.
Exactly.
So 15 million in a span of 8 months.
It's not a lot of money. 15 million for a campaign is not a lot of money.
You have billboards, you have campaign stuff.
You're talking at a place where that has over 150,000 people who voting. That's nothing.
You have about 180,000 voters. 180,000. You have 6 wards. I didn't even have enough money because after the campaign ended, I ended up in debt. And as usual, I sold my wife's car. Like every time there's a...
No, Boni, what do you mean?
I sold my wife's car after election. It took me...
Okay, can we clear another rumor? So
yes.
Rumor has it that you are voting, you are running, and I'm just asking questions that people asked or people just throw around on social media, which was you were paid donor money to campaign for this place.
Yeah, I would like to understand this donor money.
You want it?
I want it, man. I want it. If someone is getting donor money on my behalf, please let me know who, so that I can go and cash it. You know, what Kenya need to understand that this country, so you have the National Intelligence Service, you have the DCI, Directorate of Criminal Investigation, you have National Police Service, you have military intelligence, and then you have Central Bank anti-fraud detectives. So you have so many then you have Kenya Revenue Authority. So you have many level of departments that if you're doing cash fraud or receiving money to do such things, they would actually flag it. You know, the way the best attack for me is hashtags online.
Yes.
If there's any evidence of such a thing, I will be arraigned in court for fraud.
Yep.
Yes. But there's no such thing. I even say, I only wish that these guys would actually leak my bank statement. Just leak it. Because there's nothing. And before I ran, I actually declared my wealth. As a sign of saying, you know what, this is how much I'm worth.
How much did you declare that time?
It's about, me and my wife, 2.5 million shillings in total. That's how much we were worth in 2016. Yeah. So before I even published the book. So you see that, so there's that. It took me 2 years to pay my campaign debts. And I still have small ones all over. But the big debts took me 2 years to pay the campaign debts.
So you had debts after that 15 million?
Yes, because now you're on the finish line. You're like, no, I need more money. I don't have any more money. Then I took money from a Shylock who almost drove me crazy. Then I tried to go to the bank to ask for money. Then the bank called me a PEP. I didn't know there was something called PEP.
Persons or...
Politically exposed person.
Yeah.
They called me a PEP. Even to date, I can't get a bank loan. To date. Because I ran for public office.
You're a PEP?
I'm a PEP, politically exposed person. They can't give me a loan. They refuse to give me a loan. So you look, and I've been in the same bank for about 15 years.
So Boni, and the same bank which had given you that 700 Gs before?
No, so the 700 Gs are going from another bank. That's 2008. So I had opened a bank in another bank that has never given me a loan or anything.
Okay, Boni, let me ask you.
Yes. Would
you have, knowing what you know, if people came to back you up, would you run again?
No, I don't think so.
Would you run in a different constituency? Is that allowed? For example, can you go and run with Kile?
No. No. Dude, no, as in, you see, there's so much grief in running. You get, so I was coming here to run, and the grief you get, the hate you get, the attacks you get, they're like so much. I'm like, why do you want to become one of... And you see, I've always mistrusted politicians. And when I look back now, even if I had won and I was one member of parliament, would I have made a big difference? I don't think so. I don't think I belong in parliament. You know, Kenyans say, oh, you talk because you want to go to parliament or you're bitter. I don't have to be anywhere. I don't have to be anywhere. If I look at my social media handles, they serve more other people than it does serve me. If I deleted my social media handles today, do you think I'll still be, there's nothing that I get from them, so there's nothing I'm going to lose. When I get phone calls from friends here, are people asking for favors to put things for them online? So even if I didn't have a social media handle, I'll still be Boni. You see, my worthiness is not a social media handle. And my courage is not because I'm on Twitter or Facebook, wherever it is. I've always been courageous. So this idea that that I'm doing this for myself, I actually suffer and lose more because of what I do. I was telling you, I started seeing a urologist in my 20s, my late 20s. Because every time you get beaten, your police beat your balls and all that. This is my penis. My penis.
Oh, yeah, you are for real.
Yes, my penis is bent. Because I was hit and then it bent like this, like my urethra. I've gone to a couple of urologists. And every time they go and they put like a pipe inside to try and straighten it. It doesn't straighten. So even when I pee, my bladder doesn't empty. So the things that you never talk about.
What?
Like the
so that's why, like, for example, today you've
I mean, this year I've gone to the bathroom 6-7 times. Like you guys haven't left here. Every time I'm going to the bathroom. Because my that's the things that you'll never put on table and say, he beat my dick is like this. You can't say those things.
Yeah.
Or my urethra. Those are the things. There's the psychological damage.
Well, if there's a physical trauma.
The physical trauma and the suffering. Bro, I go to the bathroom and then 4-5 times because so there's so many things. And for what? For what, bro? Because in my 20s, I had a very good career. So there's sometimes you ask yourself, is it really worth it? I have wounds and injuries that I wasn't fighting for me. It was somebody else that I was fighting for. I was just standing in the gap. And I thank God now I don't get beaten as much as I used to be beaten. But bro, the trauma.
You don't get physically beaten, but it's, emotionally. I watched Softy, and I've seen you and your wife. In fact, your wife for me became out the superstar out of Softy. Because I'm like, Nigeria has gone through.
And even the emotional trauma. The time I was beaten, the day in the 2015 protest, 2013 protest, where I was beaten by 20 goons. And I went home and my daughter asked me, Dad, did they kill you? Because she saw the beating on TV. Like the level of beating, the level of injuries, man. Bro, you get beat, you get slapped. And even right now, when I tweet about the things that I think are going wrong in this country, and I get that hate, I'm like, dude.
From the same people you're fighting for.
Yeah. You know, like you have to fight with one hand, the other hand you have to defend yourself. And the truth is, if I walked away from everything I believe in today, never post, never to do everything, my life would still be fine. Because I'm still a very good photographer. I can still teach. I can still write. I can do consultancies. I can do so many things. But you've been told that the things we fight for are foreign ideals, that you're paid by foreigners.
So Boni, why do you still do it?
Because I love my kids. And because I love this country. And I think if I don't fight for my kids, they will suffer when their time comes. So I must defend the gains we have in this country. And I must do this for my kids. So my motivation began as, yes, we must do these things. I was very idealistic. But now I fight for my kids. I say, you know what? By the time I'm leaving, I have left a better country for them. We pay a very heavy personal price for public good. And then you realize you can't come and say, this is what happened in my life, because people think that you're trying to brag or justify. So you can talk about your personal hurts and your struggles and your fears and even the psychological trauma on your kids. When they see police, they get triggered. Me, I see police, I get triggered easily. Nikienda makarao, inakuwa nika drama. Something happens in my body. Because my body remembers. My body remembers the beatings. My body remembers the heart. My body remembers. My body remembers. You know, like there's that, yes, the cop is being friendly. They've been saying hello. But you feel like you've been assaulted. Because your body sees uniform and memories of beatings. Not once, not twice, not thrice. They've just been beaten so many times. And then the other effect on being an activist is financial. There's no money in activism. And then the people who should hire my skills as a photographer don't even hire me. Like, go and ask civil society, do they hire Boniface to take for them pictures? They don't. Actually, last year, I survived because of, Kenya Human Rights Commission gave me work last year to document for them what their COVID response. Kennedy Odeda gave me work last year, and Wawera and Jera, 3 people.
Yeah.
If they didn't give me work last year, my family and I would have slept in the streets.
What?
Yeah. Three people gave me work last year. And even this year, when the year began and I was having a jam, I told Wawera, Niadze, give me work. And she gave me work. So, because why can't people hire me as a photographer? Why can't you then pay me to tweet for you and pay me? Why can't guys do that? Because you see, people see me as someone they send their problems to. Please send your money as well. I don't mind, or buy my book.
In fact, that for me is, so I want to teach you about this thing that I call the digital value economy, which means if you're offering value, you no longer have to go to the middleman. You go directly. Boni, if we sell 1,000 of these books, that means you have 3 million shillings. If you have 3 million shillings, it means you can take your kids to school.
True.
You get?
Yes.
It means you can pay your rent.
True.
It means you can even finish building a house so that you no longer have to worry about rent.
True. I need a roof. I'm trying to build a house.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, and now you're not even asking for a handout. You're saying, buy my book. That book has 320 pages. It has photos that nobody has. I'm not speaking to you, Boni. I'm speaking to the person who is listening to me. In fact, all I want you to do is just hold that book up. And I want to say, from your money, it's very simple. For you to get this book internationally, worldwide, anybody, the digital value economy, you cut out the middleman. So, I don't know if you've got a way which people can do SendWave.
They can do Wave, they can do PayPal.
All of these details are here.
Yes.
Also, your email address is there, so that once they buy, they can contact you if they're international, and they can
ship it.
And they can ship it. But you're going to pay for the shipping expense.
And then I'll autograph every book.
Every book,
yes.
The same way you've autographed mine.
Yes.
So me, when I just keep holding the books,
Pastor Esther.
CTA stands for clean the airwaves, but it also stands for call to action. And call to action is where the viewers and the people who are listening to my voice, I tell them to do good. Every single person here who I can help with the slight authority that I've been given and the small audience that I've been given, I try and do it. So you are somebody who I can, you've passionately moved me in today's conversation. So guys, again, I'll say, the MPESA number is there, SendWave number is there, phone number is there, email address is there. Get the product. Boni will sign every single book. It will be delivered to you wherever you are worldwide at your cost. Sasa Boni.
Asante sana. So
we can't be waiting for civil society to feed you. Well, we have 52 million people in this country, or even 100 million worldwide.
And only need 1,000 people to buy the book. The call to action, I'll say this. The people that you believe in and you think are doing the right thing, please defend them. I can't wake up every day to defend myself from trolls and say that's not true. That would be like a full-time job. But the people who know what's true and they keep quiet are worse than the trolls, because they help cultivate this culture of silence. So it becomes very hard for guys who are fighting for this country to fight and then defend themselves every single day. So if you know the truth, just say the truth, because when you keep quiet, the liars and the people who are paid to lie just continue this perpetuation of lies, and it just becomes very ugly.
I get it. Okay, Boni, let me move forward to some happy news in all of this story.
Yes.
First and foremost, thank you so much for what you've done for this country. I'm beginning to understand the sacrifice that it's paid on your life, and I don't want to celebrate you when you're gone. I don't want to be like, yo, that guy was such a nice guy. This is my way of celebrating you, by allowing you to tell your story in the way you want to tell it.
Thank you.
But along the journey, there have been other people from outside of this country and even within this country who have celebrated you.
Yes.
Something small as Giuliani saying, Boniface, Boni, Samgishuru Boni, no the evidence. Something, there's a line where Giuliani has mentioned you in his song, and that's a way of him appreciating you. Giuliani is your boy.
Tujiangalie.
Exactly. There are guys who've...
Yeshiski, ask Boni.
Exactly.
We vote
Exactly.
Trump or cash. Ask Boni, we vote tribe, we don't vote in cash.
Exactly. So there are people who, in their own way, have been able to celebrate you and give you your flowers.
Yes.
However, now from an international scale, there are people abroad who have seen what it is that you're doing. You get?
Yeah.
Who are some of these people in terms of awards or in other ways? In fact, you've just flown back.
From Luxembourg. So I'll give
Luxembourg, not Luxembourg.
Luxembourg. Hey, wajua, group of schools. We nenda primary.
Pangani.
Pangani and Odaya approved.
No. In fact, yours the Diakoni approved school.
Shukuru yawa Madena. Now, I think the most prestigious award I've ever won was 2012 when Power started. That's the year after Power started. I won the Prince Claus Laureate Prize.